Let me tell you something straight. Everybody wants success. Everybody wants freedom. Everybody wants to live their dream. But very few people want to do what it takes, because doing what it takes is uncomfortable. Doing what it takes means waking up when your body says sleep. It means working when nobody is clapping. It means sacrificing weekends, comfort, excuses, and sometimes relationships. Doing what it takes means choosing discipline over motivation. See, what's easy is scrolling. What's easy is complaining. What's easy is blaming your past, your parents, your situation, your country. But what's hard? Ownership, consistency, self-control, growth. And let me tell you, greatness lives on the hard road. You don't become extraordinary by doing average things. You don't build a legacy by choosing comfort. You don't change your life by waiting for perfect conditions. You change your life by making hard decisions daily. Listen to me. Pain is temporary. Regret is permanent. You might struggle for a season, but quitting will cost you a lifetime. Stop asking, is this easy? Start asking, is this necessary? Because champions don't rise when it's convenient. They rise when it's uncomfortable. They rise when nobody believes. They rise when they're tired. They rise when their excuses sound reasonable. They rise anyway. See, the problem isn't talent. The problem is commitment. The problem is showing up only when you feel like it. Success doesn't care about your feeling. Success responds to action. Every morning you wake up, you have two choices. Protect your comfort or pursue your calling. And your future is built on that choice. Let me be real with you. If you only work hard when you're inspired, you will always be average. But if you work hard when you're tired, when you're discouraged, when nobody's watching, that's when your life changes. Do what it takes. Not for likes, not for validation, not to impress people. Do it for your future self. Do it for the version of you that's counting on today's discipline. Because one day, the pain will make sense. One day, the sacrifice will pay off. One day, you'll thank yourself for not quitting, but only if you stop doing what's easy and start doing what it takes. Let me tell you something most people don't want to hear. Comfort is killing your future. Not slowly, not quietly. Comfort is destroying dreams every single day, and people don't even realize it because comfort feels good. Comfort feels good. Comfort feels familiar. But comfort is the most dangerous place you can live. Comfort doesn't challenge you. Comfort doesn't stretch you. Comfort doesn't demand growth. Comfort whispers lies in your ear and tells you everything is fine while your potential is slowly suffocating. See, nobody warns you about comfort. People warn you about drugs. People warn you about alcohol. People warn you about bad company. But nobody tells you that comfort will rob you blind. Comfort doesn't kick your door down. Comfort invites you in, gives you a soft chair, turns on your favorite show, and slowly convinces you that tomorrow was guaranteed. Comfort tells you that you can start next week. Comfort tells you that you deserve rest even when you haven't earned it. Comfort tells you that average is acceptable. And that's how dreams die. Not with explosions, not with tragedy. They die quietly on couches, in excuses, inside routines that feel good but lead nowhere. Let me be real with you. Growth hurts. Change hurts. Discipline hurts. But regret hurts more. Staying stuck hurts more. Knowing you could have done better hurts more. Watching someone else live the life you wanted hurts more. Comfort will keep you overweight, underpaid, underdeveloped, and unfulfilled. Because comfort never pushes you. Look at nature. Everything that grows is uncomfortable. Seeds have to break open. Muscles have to tear. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Nothing powerful is created in ease. Nothing extraordinary is born in relaxation. Yet somehow we expect success to come while we stay comfortable. We want strong bodies without sweat. We want wealth without sacrifice. We want confidence without failure. We want purpose without pain. It doesn't work like that. Your comfort zone is a beautiful prison. It has soft walls, but it still traps you. Every great version of you lives outside that zone. The problem is most people don't leave because comfort doesn't feel dangerous. It feels reasonable. It feels justified. You tell yourself you worked hard enough. You tell yourself you deserve a break. You tell yourself tomorrow will come. You tell yourself one more episode, one more scroll, one more delay. And before you know it, years pass. Dreams expire. Potential fades. Energy disappears. You wake up one day and realize you're living a life you never planned. Not because you failed, but because you chose comfort too many times. Listen to me closely. Your future is built on discomfort. Every upgrade requires an uncomfortable decision. Every level demands a new version of you. You cannot stay who you are and expect something different. If you keep doing what's easy, you will keep getting what's familiar. And familiar is not greatness. Familiar is survival. Familiar is mediocrity. Familiar is settling. Greatness requires separation. It requires you to be misunderstood. It requires lonely mornings and late nights. It requires saying no to things that feel good right now for things that will feel great later. Comfort says sleep in. Greatness says get up. Comfort says skip today. Greatness says show up. Comfort says avoid the pain. Greatness says walk through it. And here's the truth most people don't accept. Your comfort zone will always fight back. The moment you try to grow, your mind will resist. Your body will resist. Your environment will resist. People around you will resist. They'll call you crazy. They'll tell you you're doing too much. And they'll say you've changed. Yes, you have changed. Because staying the same was killing you. Let me ask you something real. How many times have you chosen comfort over progress? How many mornings did you hit snooze instead of chasing your goals? How many times did you quit because it got hard? How many opportunities did you ignore because fear felt safer? Every one of those moments was shaping your future. You don't drift into success. You drift into comfort. Success requires intention, and intention requires discomfort. You've got to be willing to be uncomfortable longer than other people. That's the difference, not talent, not luck. Tolerance for discomfort. Champions stay in the pain longer. They train when it burns. They study when their eyes are tired. They keep pushing when motivation is gone. They don't wait for perfect condition. They create momentum. Most people stop when it hurts. Champions start when it hurts because they understand that pain is not a signal to quit. Pain is a signal that something is changing. Discomfort is evidence of growth. You cannot become who you want to be by staying who you are. That old version of you has to die. The lazy version, the scared version, the excuse-making version, that version must be buried. And burial is uncomfortable. Let me tell you something else. Comfort makes you emotionally weak. When you avoid hardship, you lose resilience. When you avoid challenge, you lose confidence. When everything has to feel good, you become fragile. Life doesn't care about your comfort. Life will hit you. Life will test you. Life will disappoint you. So if you don't train yourself through discomfort, you won't survive pressure. Strong people are built in uncomfortable seasons. Character is built when nobody's watching. Confidence is built by doing hard things repeatedly. And purpose is revealed when you refuse to quit. You don't discover who you are in comfort. You discover who you are in struggle. That's where you meet the real you, the focused you, the disciplined you, the resilient you. Comfort hides that person. Pain reveals them. Stop running from discomfort. Run toward it. That workout you don't feel like doing, that's your breakthrough. That book you keep postponing, that's your upgrade. That business idea you're scared to start, that's your freedom. That conversation you're avoiding, that's your healing. Everything you want is on the other side of uncomfortable. Let me tell you something personal. Every time you level up, you'll feel lonely. Growth creates distance. You won't fit in the same rooms anymore. You won't relate to the same conversation. Your priorities will change. Your circle will shrink. Your circle will shrink. That's not loss, that's elevation. Comfort keeps you surrounded by people who think small. Discomfort introduces you to your future. Most people are addicted to comfort. They eat for pleasure. They sleep for escape. They scroll to avoid thinking. They distract themselves instead of developing themselves. They confuse rest with avoidance. They confuse peace with stagnation. They confuse happiness with comfort. But happiness without progress becomes emptiness. Let me be clear. Rest is important. Recovery is necessary. But rest should prepare you to work harder, not excuse you from growth. There's a difference between resting and hiding. There's a difference between recovery and retreat. If you're always tired, maybe it's not your body. Maybe it's your discipline. If you're always overwhelmed, maybe it's not life. Maybe it's your lack of structure. If you're always stuck, maybe it's not circumstances. Maybe it's your comfort addiction. You got to get honest with yourself. Nobody else can do that for you. Comfort lies. Results tell the truth. Look at your life. Are you growing? Are you evolving? Are you becoming? Or are you just existing? Comfort creates survivors. Discomfort creates leaders. Every great story starts with struggle. Every hero faces resistance. Every transformation begins with discomfort. You don't skip that part. You earn your next level through pain. So stop asking for easy. Start asking for strength. Stop praying for comfort. Stop praying for courage. Stop avoiding the hard road. The hard road builds hard people, and hard people build powerful futures. Your comfort zone is not your home. It's your cage. Break out. Be willing to sweat. Be willing to fail. Be willing to fail. Be willing to look foolish. Be willing to start small. Be willing to be uncomfortable. Because the moment you choose growth over comfort, everything changes. Your confidence rises. Your standards elevate. Your mindset sharpens. Your future opens, but only if you stop protecting your comfort. Only if you start attacking your potential. Remember this, easy choices make hard lives. Hard choices make easy lives. Choose hard now, so you don't suffer later. Do not let comfort steal your calling. Do not let convenience rob your destiny. Do not let fear disguise itself as peace. You were not created to be comfortable. You were created to be great. And greatness demands discomfort. Every day, no excuses, no shortcuts, no surrender. Let me tell you the truth that most people don't want to hear. Motivation is a liar. Motivation feels good, but it doesn't last. Motivation shows up when the music is loud, when the crowd is cheering, when the video hits hard, when emotions are high. But discipline shows up when it's silent. Discipline shows up when nobody is watching. Discipline shows up when your body is tired, your mind is heavy, and your feelings are gone. That's why discipline beats motivation every single time. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is permanent. Motivation comes from outside. Discipline comes from within. Motivation depends on mood. Discipline depends on commitment. You cannot build a future on feelings. Feelings change. Energy fades. Excitement disappears. But habits remain. Structure remains. Character remains. That's why champions don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems. They rely on routines. They rely on discipline. Most people wake up and ask themselves, do I feel like doing this today? Winners wake up and ask, what needs to be done? There's a big difference. When you depend on motivation, you only move when you feel inspired. When you depend on discipline, you move because it's your standard. And standards don't negotiate with emotion. Let me be real with you. There will be days you don't feel like grinding. There will be mornings when your body begs you to stay in bed. There will be weeks when progress feels invisible. There will be seasons when nothing makes sense. That's when discipline matters. Because motivation won't carry you through dark days. Discipline will. Motivation won't get you up at 5 a.m. when it's cold. Discipline will. Motivation won't keep you focused when results are slow. Discipline will. Motivation won't save you when life punches you in the face. Discipline will. People say they want success, but they don't want the daily sacrifices that come with it. They want the reward without the routine. They want the destination without the discipline. But success is rented, and rent is due every single day. You don't pay with motivation. You pay with discipline. Let me tell you something powerful. Discipline is self-respect in action. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence grows. Every time you do what you said you would do, even when it's hard, you build trust with yourself. And when you trust yourself, you become unstoppable. Most people break promises to themselves every day. They say they'll start tomorrow. They say they'll wake up early. They say they'll eat better. They say they'll work harder. Then tomorrow comes and nothing changes. And every broken promise weakens their belief in themselves. That's why discipline is everything, because discipline rebuilds self-trust. Discipline turns intentions into identity. Discipline creates momentum. You don't wake up confident. You become confident by keeping commitments. You don't wake up strong. You become strong by doing hard things repeatedly. You don't wake up successful. You become successful by showing up when nobody cares. Motivation makes you feel good. Discipline makes you great. And greatness doesn't care how you feel. Let me break it down. The reason most people stay stuck isn't because they don't know what to do. It's because they don't do what they know. Information is everywhere. Execution is rare. Everybody knows they should eat healthy. Everybody knows they should exercise. Everybody knows they should learn, grow, save, invest, improve. But knowing doesn't change your life. Doing does. And doing requires discipline. Discipline is doing what's necessary even when it's uncomfortable. Discipline is choosing long-term results over short-term pleasure. Discipline is saying no to distraction so you can say yes to destiny. Your future doesn't care about your excuses. Your future responds to your habits. Every small disciplined action compounds. Every skipped workout compounds. Every avoided task compounds. Every delayed decision compounds. You are building your future whether you realize it or not. The question is, are you building it intentionally or are you letting comfort and convenience shape it? Let me tell you something else. Discipline doesn't start big. It starts small. It starts with waking up when the alarm goes off. It starts with drinking water instead of soda. It starts with reading 10 pages. It starts with walking when you don't feel like running. Small disciplines create massive outcomes. People underestimate consistency. They want dramatic change overnight. But real transformation is quiet. It's boring. It's repetitive. It's doing the same things day after day with excellence. That's discipline. Nobody posts about those lonely mornings. Nobody celebrates those silent nights. Nobody claps for unseen effort. But that's where champions are made. Let me be honest. Discipline will cost you comfort. It will cost you friendships. It will cost you weekends. It will cost you weekend entertainment. It will cost you sleep sometimes. But indiscipline will cost you your dream. Choose your pain, because pain is unavoidable. Either you suffer the pain of discipline or you suffer the pain of regret. One builds your future, the other destroys it. Discipline means you don't wait until you feel ready. You act ready. Discipline means you don't negotiate with weakness. You dominate it. Discipline means you don't chase motivation. You create momentum. Momentum is built through action. Action is built through discipline. That's the chain. Let me talk about identity. The moment you decide to become disciplined, you are deciding who you are. You are no longer a person who quits. You are no longer a person who waits. You are no longer a person who makes excuses. You become a person who finishes. You become a person who follows through. You become a person who keeps going. And once that identity forms, your whole life changes. Because disciplined people don't depend on circumstances. They create circumstances. They don't complain about lack of opportunity. They prepare until opportunity arrives. They don't blame conditions. They adapt. They don't seek comfort. They seek progress. They seek progress. Let me tell you something real. Discipline will expose you. It will reveal how serious you really are. It will show you whether your goals are wishes or commitments. When it's time to wake up early and you don't, that tells the truth. When it's time to work and you scroll, that tells the truth. When it's time to push and you quit, that tells the truth. Discipline doesn't lie. Results don't lie. Your routine tells your story. If someone followed you for a week, would they see a future champion or a comfortable survivor? Your daily actions answer that. Discipline is choosing structure over chaos. Discipline is choosing responsibility over excuses. Discipline is choosing growth over ease. You don't become disciplined when life is easy. You become disciplined when life is hard. That's when it counts. That's when habits are tested. That's when character is revealed. And listen to me, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to magically give you discipline. You have to decide. You have to choose. You have to draw a line in the sand and say, this is who I am now. No more waiting. No more hoping. No more talking. No more talking. Just doing. Discipline doesn't care about your past. Discipline starts right now. It doesn't matter how many times you failed. It matters what you do next. It doesn't matter how long you've been stuck. It matters how hard you move forward. You don't need perfect conditions. You need commitment. Let me remind you of something powerful. Every successful person you admire is disciplined. They might be talented. They might be smart. But what separates them is consistency. They showed up when they didn't feel like it. They worked when they were tired. They learned when they were bored. They pushed when they were scared. That's discipline. Stop romanticizing motivation. Romanticize consistency. Romanticize habits. Romanticize showing up. Because that's where greatness lives. Your dreams require discipline. Your family needs your discipline. Your future depends on your discipline. This world doesn't reward intentions. It rewards execution. So stop waiting for motivation. Build discipline. Build routines. Build standards. Build systems. Make your bed. Write your goals. Move your body. Feed your mind. Protect your time. Control your environment. Do the small things daily. That's how empires are built, not in moments of inspiration, in seasons of discipline. And one day, when people ask how you did it, you won't talk about motivation. You'll talk about mornings when you didn't quit. You'll talk about nights when you kept working. You'll talk about choices nobody saw. That's your legacy. Discipline is freedom. Discipline gives you options. Discipline gives you confidence. Discipline gives you control. And without discipline, you are a slave to your moves. So make a decision. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today, become disciplined, because motivation will leave you, but discipline will carry you all the way to the life you deserve. Let me tell you something real that most people never stop to calculate. Every excuse you make is costing you something, not emotionally, not mentally, literally, financially, spiritually, physically. Every excuse has a price tag attached to it, and most people are paying with their future without even realizing it. Excuses feel harmless. They sound reasonable. They even make sense sometimes. You're tired. You're busy. You don't have resources. You don't have support. You didn't grow up with opportunity. You've been hurt before. Life hasn't been fair. All of that may be true, but excuses don't care about your truth. Excuses only care about keeping you stuck. Nobody wakes up one day and decides to fail. Failure happens slowly through small excuses repeated daily. You don't lose your dream in one moment. You lose it in 1,000 tiny decisions to delay, avoid, and settle. Let me be clear. Your excuses are not protecting you. They are robbing you. They are stealing your time. They are stealing your confidence. They are stealing your potential. And worst of all, they are stealing your destiny. See, excuses are comfortable lies. They help you sleep at night while your future slips away. They make you feel justified while your life stays the same. They give you permission to quit without feeling guilty. But here's the truth. Every time you choose an excuse, you are choosing against your growth. Every excuse is a trade. You trade discipline for comfort. You trade progress for familiarity. You trade courage for convenience. And those trades add up. People say, I don't have time. But somehow they find hours for scrolling. They say, I don't have money. But they spend on things that don't move their life forward. They say, I don't have energy. But they stay up late watching shows. They say, I'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow keeps moving. Let me tell you something uncomfortable. If it matters, you make time. If it doesn't, you make excuses. That's the truth. Your calendar reveals your priorities. Your actions expose your beliefs. And your results reflect your excuses. Most people don't lack ability. They lack accountability. They don't lack opportunity. They lack ownership. They don't lack potential. They lack consistency. Excuses are the enemy of accountability. The moment you blame something outside of you, you give away your power. You tell yourself that your life is controlled by circumstances instead of choices. But powerful people don't live like that. They own their results. They own their failures. They own their responsibility. They don't wait for perfect condition. They create momentum. They don't complain about what they don't have. They maximize what they do have. Let me ask you something real. Who benefits when you make excuses? Not your family, not your future, not your dreams, not your dream. The only thing that benefits is your comfort. And comfort doesn't pay dividends. Comfort charges interest. High interest, every excuse compounds, every delay multiplies, every avoidance grows. And one day you look back and realize years are gone, energy is gone, opportunities are gone, and all you have left are explanations. But explanations don't change outcomes. Results do. Excuses are expensive because they keep you in cycles. You repeat the same year over and over and call it life. You stay in the same mindset, the same habits, the same environment, and wonder why nothing changes. Nothing changes because you haven't changed. You can't complain your way to success. You can't explain your way to greatness. You can't justify your way to freedom. You must work your way there. You must work your way there. Let me tell you something powerful. Every successful person had excuses available. They were tired too. They were scared too. They lacked resources too. They had responsibilities too. The difference is they refused to let excuses become their identity. They did what needed to be done anyway. They showed up anyway. They tried anyway. They failed anyway. They kept moving anyway. That's the separator, not luck. not talent, not background. Decision. You decide whether excuses run your life or discipline does. Let me break it down further. Excuses often wear disguises. They come dressed as logic. They sound intelligent. They sound mature. They sound responsible. I'll wait until I have more money. I'll start when things slow down. I'll go after it once I feel confident. I need to be more prepared. But preparation without action is procrastination. Waiting without movement is fear. Planning without execution is avoidance. Excuses often pretend to be strategy, but real strategy includes action. You don't need everything figured out to start. You start, then you figure it out. Momentum creates clarity. Action builds confidence. Movement creates motivation, but excuses keep you frozen. Let me tell you the truth, most people avoid. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to hand you discipline. Nobody's going to rescue your dreams. It's on you. Every morning, every choice, every moment, your life is your responsibility. And once you accept that, everything changes. You stop blaming. You stop waiting. You stop complaining. You start building. You start becoming. You start becoming. Excuses make you small. Ownership makes you powerful. Let me ask you something deeper. What would your life look like if you removed excuses completely? If you stopped saying, I can, and started asking, how can I? If you stopped explaining and started executing. If you stopped waiting for permission and started taking initiative, that version of you scares your excuses. Because that version doesn't negotiate with fear. That version doesn't entertain doubt. That version moves. Excuses also cost you confidence. Every time you back out, every time you delay, every time you quit, your self-belief takes a hit. You start seeing yourself as someone who doesn't finish, someone who doesn't follow through, someone who talks more than they act. And that identity becomes heavy. But discipline rebuilds confidence. Ownership rebuilds confidence. Action rebuilds confidence. You don't feel confident and then you act and confidence follows. Excuses tell you to wait. Action tells you to move. Let me tell you something real. Hard times don't break people. Excuses do. Hard times create strong people. Excuses create weak ones. Pressure builds diamonds. Excuses build mediocrity, and the world already has enough average. It needs people who are willing to take responsibility, people who are willing to rise, people who are willing to stop blaming and start building and start building. Excuses are expensive because they delay your breakthrough. You never know how close you are. You could be one decision away, one habit away, one action away. But excuses keep you from finding out. They keep you on the sidelines while others step into the arena. They keep you watching instead of becoming. They keep you dreaming instead of doing. Let me tell you something important. Your story will either be a testimony or an explanation. You will either say, I overcame, or you will say, I would have, but greatness has no but. Legacy has no excuses. Your future self is watching what you do today, not what you plan, not what you promise, what you actually do. Every excuse you make today becomes a regret tomorrow. Every action you take today becomes confidence tomorrow. Choose wisely. You don't need more time. You need more urgency. You don't need more resources. You need more resolve. You don't need perfect conditions. You need commitment. Excuses make you comfortable. Commitment makes you unstoppable. Commitment makes you unstoppable. And listen to me closely. You don't eliminate excuses by accident. You eliminate them by decision. You draw a line and say, no more. No more blaming. No more waiting. No more settling. No more hiding behind circumstances. From this moment forward, you own your results. You own your habits. You own your future. That's power. That's maturity. That's leadership. Your excuses are expensive. They cost you mornings. They cost you growth. They cost you confidence. They cost you opportunities. They cost you dream. But responsibility pays dividends. Discipline pays dividends. Consistency pays dividends, and the return is a life you're proud of. So stop paying the price of excuses. Start investing in effort. Stop feeding your comfort. Stop feeding your purpose. Stop explaining your situation. Start changing it. Because at the end of your life, nobody will care why you did. They will only see what you did, and that truth should wake you up. Let me tell you something that might sting at first, but will set you free if you truly accept it. Nobody is coming to save you. No mentor is going to magically appear and fix your habits. No opportunity is going to knock on your door and drag you into success. No miracle is going to fall out of the sky and hand you discipline, confidence, or purpose. It's on you. In the moment you understand that, everything changes. Most people spend their lives waiting for motivation, waiting for support, waiting for the right timing, waiting for someone to believe in them, waiting for circumstances to improve, waiting for life to get easier. And while they wait, their dreams collect dust. They wait so long that waiting becomes their lifestyle. They say things like, if I just had more money, if someone would give me a chance, if I had better connections, if I grew up differently, if life wasn't so hard. Let me be real with you. Life has never been fair. Life has never been easy. Life has never promised comfort. So if you're waiting for perfect conditions, you will wait forever. Nobody's coming to rescue you from your procrastination. Nobody's coming to save you from your excuses. Nobody's coming to pull you out of bed and force you to chase your goals. Nobody is coming. You either rise or you remain where you are. That's the truth. Most people want to save you. They want a coach, a partner, a boss, a system, or a situation to change before they do. They believe their breakthrough is tied to someone else's actions. But your breakthrough is tied to your decisions. Powerful people don't wait to be saved. They save themselves. They take responsibility. They take action. They take ownership. Let me tell you something important. The moment you blame someone else for your life, you give away your power. You tell yourself that your future depends on external factors. And when you live like that, you become a victim of circumstance instead of a creator of outcomes. But winners don't live that way. They don't blame their parents. They don't blame their past. They don't blame the economy. They don't blame their environment. They adapt, they adjust, they overcome. They understand that life doesn't owe them anything. They understand that struggle is part of the process. They understand that no one is coming. And because they understand that, they move differently. They wake up earlier. They work harder. They complain less. They take risks. They fail forward. They don't wait for permission. They don't wait for applause. They don't wait for approval. They move. Let me ask you something real. How much longer are you going to wait? How many more years are you willing to lose? How many more excuses are you going to make? How many more times are you going to say assume while doing nothing today? You don't need someone to believe in you. You need to believe in yourself. You don't need someone to motivate you. You need to discipline yourself. You don't need someone to rescue you. You need to rise. Let me break it down for you. Every successful person reached a moment when they realized that nobody was coming. That moment changes everything. That moment forces you to grow up. That moment forces you to stop complaining. That moment forces you to take control. Because when you finally accept that nobody is coming, you stop waiting. You stop hoping. You stop wishing. You start building. You start moving. You start becoming. Let me tell you something else. People love to talk about support, but support doesn't build success. Responsibility does. Plenty of people have support and still waste their potential. Plenty of people have help and still stay stuck. Support is helpful, but it's not required. Commitment is required. Consistency is required. Consistency is required. Effort is required. Some of the strongest people you will ever meet had no safety net, no encouragement, no backup plan. They had pressure. They had pain. They had responsibility. And that pressure forced growth. That pain created resilience. That responsibility created discipline. Nobody saved them. They saved themselves. You see, waiting for someone to save you keeps you passive. It keeps you dependent. It keeps you small. But when you realize that your life is your responsibility, you become active. You become powerful. You become dangerous in the best way. You stop asking for permission. You stop seeking validation. You stop needing approval. You start taking action. Let me be clear. This doesn't mean you can't ask for help. It doesn't mean you can't learn from others. It doesn't mean you can't have mentors. It means you don't depend on them. You don't wait for them. You don't pause your growth because someone else hasn't shown up. You move anyway. Because your future cannot be outsourced. Your discipline cannot be delegated. Your dreams cannot be handed off. It's you. Always has been. Always will be. Let me tell you something painful but necessary. Some people secretly like being stuck because it gives them something to complain about. They like blaming circumstances because it removes responsibility. They like waiting because it protects them from failure. But comfort disguised as helplessness is still comfort, and comfort kills progress. You have to be brave enough to say, I am where I am because of my choices, and I will change because of my choices. That takes courage, that takes maturity, that takes strength. But that's where transformation begins. Nobody is coming to save you from your habits. Nobody is coming to save you from your mindset. Nobody is coming to save you from your fears. You must face them. You must confront them. You must overcome them. You must overcome them. And listen to me, the moment you stop waiting for rescue, you become the hero of your own story. You stop seeing yourself as a victim. You stop seeing yourself as powerless. You stop seeing yourself as broken. You start seeing yourself as capable. You start seeing yourself as responsible. You start seeing yourself as unstoppable. That shift changes everything. You start waking up earlier because nobody else will. You start working harder because nobody else can. You start learning more because nobody else is going to feed your mind. You start protecting your time because nobody else values it like you do. You start saying no to distraction, but nobody else is guarding your future. You step into leadership over your own life, and leadership always starts with self. Let me tell you something else. Waiting for someone to save you keeps you emotionally weak. It teaches you to rely on external energy instead of internal discipline. But real strength comes from knowing that even when nobody supports you, you still show up. Even when nobody understands you, you still move forward. Even when nobody claps, you still grind. That's strength. That's character. That's growth. There will be days when you feel alone. There will be days when you feel overwhelmed. There will be days when you feel like quitting. And on those days, nobody will appear. No dramatic music, no miracle phone call, just you. And in those moments, you discover who you really are. You either fold or you rise. And every time you rise, you become stronger. Every time you rise, your confidence grows. Every time you rise, your future shifts. Let me tell you something powerful. You don't need saving. You need activation. You don't need rescue. You don't need responsibility. You don't need permission. You need courage. Your greatness is already inside you, but it only comes out when you stop waiting and start acting. Stop waiting for someone to push you. Push yourself. Stop waiting for someone to motivate you. Discipline yourself. Stop waiting for life to get easier. Get stronger. Because life doesn't get easier. You get tougher. Your problems don't disappear. You become wiser. Your fears don't vanish. You become braver. And that only happens when you accept that nobody is coming. This realization is not depressing. It's empowering because it puts the power back in your hands. You are not helpless. You are responsible. You are capable. You are in control. From this moment forward, let go of the fantasy that someone else is coming to fix your life. Stand up. Take ownership. Move forward. Do the work. Make the calls. Start the project. Wake up early. Stay consistent. Fall down, get back up. Repeat. That's the formula. Nobody is coming. So become the person you've been waiting for. Let me tell you something that separates people who talk from people who transform. Real progress doesn't make noise. Real growth doesn't need announcements. Real success doesn't require validation. It just shows up. Most people want applause before achievement. They want recognition before results. They want likes before labor. They want credit before consistency. But the truth is, greatness is built quietly. You don't need to tell everybody what you're doing. You need to do it. Because talk is cheap. Everybody talks. Everybody has plans. Everybody has dreams, but very few people execute. See, silence is powerful. Silence forces you to focus. Silence removes distraction. Silence builds discipline. When you work in silence, you stop chasing approval and start chasing excellence. Let me be real with you. The moment you announce your goals to the wrong people, you weaken them. Not everyone needs to know your next move. Not everyone deserves access to your vision. Some people will doubt you. Some will discourage you. Some will secretly hope you fail. That's why you move quietly. That's why you grind privately. That's why you let results do the talking. Results don't argue. Results don't explain. Results don't need justification. Results speak. People who talk too much usually do too little. They spend more time describing what they're going to do than actually doing it. They love attention more than effort. They love motivation more than discipline. But disciplined people move differently. They wake up early without posting. They train hard without announcing. They study without bragging. They build without broadcasting. And one day, everybody knows it. Let me tell you something important. When you work in silence, you build inner strength. You stop relying on external praise. You stop needing constant encouragement. You learn to motivate yourself. You learn to validate your own progress. That's power. Because when applause disappears, discipline remains. When support fades, commitment stays. When motivation dies, habits survive. Most people collapse when nobody is cheering. Silent workers keep moving. You don't need to convince people of your greatness. Let your work convince them. Let your consistency convince them. Let your progress convince them. You don't owe anyone explanation. You owe yourself execution. Let me explain something deeper. Social media has trained people to announce everything, every move, every idea, every intention. But announcing gives you a false sense of accomplishment. You feel productive just by talking. But talking doesn't build muscle. Talking doesn't build businesses. Talking doesn't change lives. Action does. Silence creates space for action. Silence removes pressure. Silence sharpens focus. Silence builds momentum. When you stop talking, you start doing. When you stop seeking validation, you start creating value. Let me tell you something real. Everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to be heard. Everybody wants recognition. But very few people are willing to be alone. Very few people are willing to grind in obscurity. Very few people are willing to work when nobody notices. That's why most people stay average. That's why most people stay average. Because greatness requires seasons of invisibility. You don't become extraordinary in front of crowds. You become extraordinary in quiet rooms, in early mornings, in late nights, in lonely workouts, in empty offices, in silent prayers. That's where silent prayers, that's where champions are made. People see the victory. They don't see the years, they see the success. They don't see the sacrifice. They see the lifestyle, they don't see the discipline, and that's okay. You don't need them to see it, you just need to live it. Let me ask you something. Are you working or are you performing? Are you building or are you posting? Are you growing or are you seeking approval? Because chasing attention will drain your energy, but chasing excellence will transform your life. When you work in silence, you protect your peace. You avoid unnecessary opinion. You avoid distractions. You avoid drama. You stay locked in. People can't sabotage what they don't know. People can't discourage what they can't see. People can't distract what they don't have access to. Silence protects your vision. Let me tell you something else. Loud people often need validation. Quiet people usually have purpose. Loud people announce every move. Quiet people execute. And execution always wins. Your results don't care how much you talk. They care how much you worked. Your future doesn't respond to your posts. It responds to your habits. Your destiny doesn't listen to your promises. It watches your consistency. Stop explaining your plans. Start producing outcomes. Let me be clear. This doesn't mean you isolate forever. It means you prioritize progress over praise. It means you build first and celebrate later. It means you invest in growth before image. Some of your hardest work will be unseen. Some of your biggest breakthroughs will happen in private. Some of your strongest moments will be silent. And that's how it's supposed to be. Trees grow quietly. Seeds grow underground. Muscles grow while you rest. Transformation is silent. Then suddenly it's visible. Let me tell you something powerful. When you stop talking and start working, your confidence rises. You stop seeking approval because you know you're putting in the work. You stop needing encouragement because you see progress. You stop comparing because you're too busy building. Silence gives you clarity. Silence gives you discipline. Silence gives you direction. And once your results show up, nobody can deny them. They won't ask how loud you were. They'll ask how you did it. They won't care how many people knew your plan. They'll care about your outcome. People who win don't argue. They present evidence. Let your life become evidence. Let your growth become proof. Let your consistency become your voice. And listen to me closely. Some people will misunderstand your silence. They'll think you're distant. They'll think you're hiding. They'll think you're unsure. Let them think you're building. You're evolving and you're becoming. You don't owe explanations to people who aren't investing in your future. You owe discipline to yourself. Work in silence because your journey is sacred. Your grind is personal. Your growth is private. Everybody doesn't need front row access to your transformation. Protect it, nurture it, develop it. Because when you finally step into your next level, it will make noise on its own. You don't need to announce success. Success announces itself. People will notice your discipline. They'll notice your confidence. They'll notice your progress. They'll notice your elevation. And then they'll ask, how did you do it? And you smile because you know it wasn't magic. It was mornings when you didn't quit. Nights when you stayed focused. Days when you ignored distraction. Weeks when nobody clapped. Months when progress felt slow. Years of silent consistency. That's how you did it. Work in silence. Let results speak. Let me tell you something that most people spend their entire lives running from: pain. Nobody wants it. Nobody asks for it. Nobody wakes up excited about struggle. But here's the truth you have to accept if you want to rise. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your teacher. Pain is your trainer. Pain is your doorway to power. Temporary pain creates permanent power. And once you understand that, you stop fearing hard seasons. You start respecting them. Most people see pain as something to escape. They look for shortcuts. They look for comfort. They look for distractions. They look for anything that will help them avoid the uncomfortable moments. But growth doesn't happen in comfort. Growth happens in resistance. Strength is born in struggle. Character is forged in adversity. You don't become powerful by avoiding pain. You become powerful by enduring it. Every meaningful transformation requires discomfort. Every upgrade in your life will demand sacrifice. Every new level comes with pressure. That pressure is shaping you. That resistance is strengthening you. That pain is preparing you. But most people quit too soon. They leave right before the breakthrough. They stop right before the lesson is complete. They run before the power arrives. Let me tell you something real. Pain has a purpose. It shows you what needs to change. It reveals your weaknesses. It exposes your habits. It forces you to confront yourself. Pain doesn't show up to destroy you. It shows up to develop you, but only if you let it. See, there are two types of pain. There's the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. One builds you. The other haunts you. One makes you stronger. The other makes you bitter. One creates power. The other creates excuses. You get to choose. Discipline hurts. Working when you're tired hurts. Staying focused when you're distracted hurts. Saying no to comfort hurts. But regret hurts worse. Knowing you could have done more hurts worse. Watching opportunities pass hurts worse. Living with a what if hurts worse. So choose your pain wisely. Temporary pain builds permanent strength. Let me explain something deeper. Every strong person you admire went through something. Nobody wakes up resilient. Nobody is born disciplined. Nobody comes into this world mentally tough. Those qualities are earned. They are developed in hard moments. They are built in seasons when life doesn't make sense. They are built when prayers feel unanswered. They are built when effort feels unnoticed. They are built when everything inside you wants to quit. That's where power is formed. Pain strips away weakness. Pain forces growth. Pain reveals who you really are. And here's the part most people miss. Pain doesn't last forever, but what it creates does. The confidence you gain from surviving hard times stays with you. The discipline you develop from struggle stays with you. The wisdom you gain from failure stays with you. The strength you build in adversity stays with you. That's permanent power. Temporary pain. Permanent power. But you have to stay long enough to receive it. Most people leave early. They escape discomfort. They numb themselves. They distract themselves. They mitigate pain instead of learning from it. And by doing that, they repeat the same lessons over and over. Life will keep giving you the same test until you pass it. Pain will keep showing up until you grow. Let me tell you something important. Pain introduces you to your higher self. When everything is easy, you don't discover your strength. When everything is smooth, you don't meet your resilience. It's in hardship that you find out what you're made of. That's when you realize you're stronger than you thought. That's when you realize you can handle more than you imagined. That's when you realize quitting was never the answer. Every tough season carries a gift. Every setback carries a lesson. Every struggle carries growth. But you have to be present for it. You have to endure. You have to keep moving. You have to stay committed. Let me be honest with you, pain will humble you. It will break your ego. It will challenge your beliefs. It will force you to evolve. That's uncomfortable, but humility leads to wisdom. Struggle leads to strength. Discomfort leads to development, and development leads to power. People who avoid pain stay small. People who walk through pain become leaders. You don't build mental toughness by reading about it. You build it by surviving hard days. You don't build confidence by avoiding failure. You build it by getting back up. You don't build courage by staying safe. You build it by facing fear. Let me tell you something real. Some of your greatest growth will come from your darkest moments. Some of your biggest breakthroughs will come after your hardest battles. Some of your strongest qualities will be born in seasons you never wanted. But when you look back, you'll see that pain shaped you. It refined you. It redirected you. It prepared you. Let me talk to you about endurance. Endurance is staying when it hurts. Endurance is pushing when it's uncomfortable. Endurance is believing when you don't see results yet. Endurance is refusing to quit even when quitting feels reasonable. That's where power lies. Power is not loud. Power is not flashy. Power is quiet, consistency. Power is resilience. Power is staying the course. Temporary pain trains you to endure, and endurance creates unstoppable people. Let me tell you something else. Pain builds empathy. It teaches you compassion. It helps you understand others. It makes you grateful. It deepens your character. Without pain, you become shallow. Without pain, you lack perspective. Pain matures you. Pain sharpens you. Pain sharpens you. But only if you let it do its work. Most people run from pain. Strong people run toward growth. They understand that every uncomfortable moment is building something inside them. They understand that struggle is part of the process. They understand that storms don't last forever. They understand that pain is temporary, but quitting is permanent. Let me ask you something. What are you going through right now? What challenge are you facing? What pressure are you under? Whatever it is, don't waste it. Don't complain about it. Learn from it. Don't escape it. Grow through it. Don't resent it. Fight it. Because that struggle is shaping your future. That difficulty is strengthening your character. That pain is preparing you for your next level. Temporary pain creates permanent power. Let me be clear. This doesn't mean you seek suffering. It means you don't fear it. It means you don't quit when it arrives. It means you understand that hardship is not punishment. It's preparation. Life is training you. Every obstacle is a lesson. Every delay is a test. Every failure is feedback. And when you start seeing pain as training instead of tragedy, everything changes. You stop asking, why me? You start asking, what is this teaching me? You stop feeling sorry for yourself. You start strengthening yourself. You stop running. You start rising. You start rise. That's power. Let me tell you something powerful. You will not always be motivated. You will not always feel strong. You will not always see progress. But you must keep going anyway, because strength is built when motivation is gone. Character is built when nobody sees. Power is built when you refuse to quit. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you gain strength. Every time you face fear, you gain courage. Every time you push through pain, you gain resilience. And over time, those small victories become permanent power. People will see your confidence. They'll see your calm. They'll see your focus. They'll see your discipline. But they won't see the pain that built it. They won't see the nights you cried. They won't see the mornings you struggled. They won't see the moments you wanted to quit. But you'll know. And that's enough. Let me finish with this. Don't waste your pain. Don't waste your pain. Don't run from it. Don't numb it. Use it. Let pain sharpen you. Let struggle strengthen you. Let hardship humble you. Let adversity build you. Because one day you will stand taller. You will move differently. You will think stronger. You will live wiser. And you'll realize that every painful season made you powerful. Temporary pain. Let me tell you something most people misunderstand about confidence. Confidence is not something you're born with. Confidence is not something you magically wake up with one day. Confidence is built. It's earned. It's created through repeated action. Consistency creates confidence. You don't become confident by thinking positive thoughts. You become confident by keeping promises to yourself. Every time you do what you say you would do, your self-belief grows. Every time you show up when it's hard, your inner strength increases. Every time you push through discomfort, you prove to yourself that you are capable. That's where confidence comes from. Not from hype, not from motivation, from consistency. Most people are waiting to feel confident before they act. Winners act until they become confident. There's a big difference. Confidence is a result, not a requirement. You don't wait for courage, you build it. You don't wait for clarity, you create it. You don't wait for strength, you develop it. And all of that comes from doing small, hard things every single day. Let me tell you something real. Inconsistency destroys self-trust. Every time you quit, every time you delay, every time you break a promise to yourself, your confidence takes a hit. You start seeing yourself as unreliable. You start doubting your ability to follow through. You start hesitating. But consistency rebuilds that trust. Consistency tells your mind, I can depend on me. Consistency tells your heart. Consistency tells your spirit, I don't quit. And once that identity forms, you become unstoppable. Let me break it down. Confidence is simply evidence that you've shown up before. Evidence that you've handled challenges. Evidence that you've survived hard seasons. Evidence that you can be trusted. That evidence is created through consistency. You don't gain confidence in the spotlight. You gain it in repetition. In early mornings, in lonely workouts, in quiet study sessions, in boring routines. That's where belief is built. People want instant confidence, but they avoid consistent effort. They want to feel strong, but they avoid daily discipline. They want self-respect, but they don't keep commitments. Confidence doesn't come from wishing, it comes from doing. Let me tell you something important. Small actions done daily create massive belief over time. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. 10 minutes a day, 1 page a day, 1 workout at a time, 1 decision at a time. It compounds. And one day you look back and realize you've become someone different. That's confidence. Consistency also teaches patience. It teaches you that success doesn't happen overnight. It teaches you to trust the process. It teaches you to keep moving even when results are slow. And that patience strengthens your character. Let me tell you something real. Most people quit right before confidence arrives. They stop when progress is invisible. They leave when growth feels slow. They abandon the process because they don't see immediate results. But confidence is waiting on the other side of consistency. If you just stay, if you just keep showing up, if you just refuse to quit, it will come. Let me talk to you about habits. Your habits are shaping your identity. What you do daily is who you become eventually. If your habits are weak, your confidence will be weak. If your habits are strong, your confidence will be strong. Consistency turns actions into identity. You don't say, I'm trying. You say, this is who I am. You don't say, I hope. Consistency builds competence. The more you practice, the better you get. The better you get, the more confident you become. Confidence grows naturally when your skills improve. You can't shortcut that. You earn it through repetition, through mistakes, through learning, through showing up again and again. That's how mastery is built. That's how leaders are formed. That's how greatness happens. People think confidence comes from success, but success comes from confidence, and confidence comes from consistency. It's a cycle. You act, you improve, you believe. You act more, you improve more, you believe more. Consistency starts it. Let me be honest. There will be days when you don't feel like it. There will be days when motivation is gone. There will be days when progress feels slow. That's when consistency matters most. Because consistency doesn't depend on feelings. It depends on standards. You show up because that's who you are, not because you feel inspired. That's maturity. That's discipline. That's leadership. Let me tell you something powerful. When you become consistent, you stop comparing yourself to others. You're too busy improving. You stop seeking validation. You're too focused on growth. You stop doubting yourself. You've seen what you can do. Consistency silences insecurity. Consistency builds inner peace. Consistency creates confidence. And that confidence changes how you walk, how you talk, how you think, how you decide. You stop second guessing. You stop hesitating. You stop playing small. You move with purpose. Because you've proven to yourself that you can. Let me ask you something real. What if you committed to consistency for 1 year? Not perfection, consistency, showing up even when it's hard. Doing the work even when nobody sees, staying disciplined even when motivation fades. Imagine who you become. Imagine how strong you'd feel. Imagine how confident you'd be. Most people never experience that version of themselves because they quit too soon. They stop when it gets uncomfortable. They stop when progress slows. They stop when doubt shows up. But that's exactly when consistency matters. That's when identity is built. That's when confidence is formed. Let me tell you something important. Consistency also teaches you self-respect. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you reinforce the belief that you matter, that your goals matter, that your future matters. That self-respect shows up in how you carry yourself, in how you speak, in how you set boundaries, in how you choose your environment. Consistency upgrades your standards. You stop accepting less. You stop settling. You stop tolerating nonsense because you've invested too much in yourself. Let me be clear. Confidence isn't arrogance. It's quiet certainty. It's knowing you can handle what comes. It's trusting your ability to adapt. It's believing in your preparation. And preparation comes from consistency. You don't fear challenges when you've trained. You don't fear pressure when you've practiced. You don't fear failure when you've fallen before and gotten back up. Consistency gives you that resilience. Let me tell you something else. People see confidence as personality, but it's really a product of discipline. Confident people are usually consistent people. They do the work. They keep promises. They show up. That's why they move differently. That's why they speak differently. That's why they think differently. They've earned it. Consistency also teaches you momentum. Once you build a rhythm, things get easier. Not because the work changes, but because you change. Your mindset strengthens. Your habits solidify. Your belief grows. You stop needing external motivation. You become self-driven. That's when confidence becomes natural. Let me finish with this. Confidence isn't built in one big moment. It's built in thousands of small ones. Every workout, every study session, every hard conversation, every disciplined choice. Stack those moments day after day, week after week, month after month. And one day you'll realize you're no longer the same person. You're stronger, you're sharper, you're calmer, you're more focused. You're more confident, not because life got easier, but because you got consistent. Consistency creates confidence every time. Let me tell you something real, something most people don't want to hear. Your legacy is not built on stage. It's not built when people are watching. It's not built when you're getting applause, likes, views, or praise. Your legacy is built in silence. It's built early in the morning when nobody knows you woke up to work on your dream. It's built late at night when everyone else is sleeping and you're still grinding. It's built in the lonely moments. See, everybody loves the highlight reel. Everybody wants the success story. Everybody wants the victory speech. But very few people are willing to live the quiet chapters that create those moments because the lonely moments don't feel heroic. They don't feel glamorous. They feel heavy. They feel boring. They feel repetitive. They feel repetitive. They feel unseen. And that's exactly why most people quit there. Most people stop when there's no audience. Most people slow down when there's no recognition. Most people give up when nobody is cheering. But champion, they understand that discipline doesn't require applause. They understand that purpose doesn't wait for permission. Let me ask you something. Who are you when nobody is watching? Who are you when nobody is clapping? Who are you when there's no validation? Because that version of you is the real you. Anyone can look motivated in public. Anyone can talk big in front of people. Anyone can post quotes and dream out loud. But what do you do in private? Do you still show up? Do you still push? Do you still pray? Do you still believe? See, legacy is built when you choose growth over comfort. Legacy is built when you choose discipline over distraction. Legacy is built when you choose commitment over convenience. And those choices usually happen alone. There will be days when you feel behind. Days when you feel behind. Days when you wonder if any of this is worth it. Days when you question your path. Days when doubt gets loud. Days when fear tries to sit next to you. Days when quitting sounds reasonable. In those moments, nobody can save you. Not your friend, not your friends, not your family, not your followers. It's just you and your decision. You either ride, so you retreat. And let me tell you, most people retreat. They retreat to comfort. They retreat to excuses. They retreat to average. They retreat to distractions. They retreat to familiar pain instead of unfamiliar growth. But if you want a legacy, you can't retreat. You have to advance when it hurts. You have to move forward when you're tired. You have to keep going when you're unsure, because success doesn't come from loud moments. It comes from quiet consistency. Think about this. Nobody sees the hours you put in. Nobody feels the pressure you carry. Nobody knows the battles you fight in your mind. Nobody understands the sacrifices you make. And that's okay, because legacy isn't built for applause. Legacy is built for impact. You're not doing this for today. You're doing this for years from now. You're doing this for the version of you that hasn't arrived yet. You're doing this for the people who will one day look at your life and say, if they did it, maybe I can too. But that inspiration starts with isolation. That influence begins with discipline. That example is created in solitude. Let me be clear. Lonely moments don't mean you're losing. Lonely moments mean you're growing. They mean you're separating from the crowd. They mean you're choosing a different path. They mean you're becoming uncommon. See, everybody can party. Everybody can waste time. Everybody can complain. Everybody can sit on their dreams. But not everybody can suffer in silence. Not everybody can work without praise. Not everybody can stay focused while everyone else is distracted. That's why everybody doesn't win. Your future is being shaped right now, not tomorrow, not next year, right now, by the choices you make when nobody's around, by the habits you build when nobody's checking, by the standards you keep when nobody's judging. Let me tell you something powerful. Success doesn't come from motivation. Success comes from mastery of lonely moments. Those moments when you want to stop but don't. Those moments when you feel weak but keep pushing. Those moments when progress feels slow but you stay consistent. Those moments are depositing into your future. You may not see results today. You may not feel progress this week. But trust me, the work is working. Seeds grow underground before they break the surface. Nobody celebrates roots. But without roots, there's no tree. And right now, you're building roots. Deep ones, strong ones, unshakable ones. So stop comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. Stop measuring your progress against other people's timeline. Your journey is yours. Your pace is yours. Your purpose is yours. Your purpose is yours. And your lonely moments are preparing you for rooms you haven't entered yet. Let me talk to the person who feels forgotten, to the one who feels tired, to the one who feels stuck, to the one who feels like giving up. Listen to me. You are not invisible. You are in preparation. You are not behind. You are in process. You are not failing. You are forming. Every late night matters. Every early morning matters. Every sacrifice matters. Every tear matters. Step matters. God sees it. Life records it. Your future will reward it. But only if you keep showing up. Only if you stay disciplined. Only if you refuse to quit. Because legacy isn't built in comfort zones. It's built in uncomfortable obedience. Legacy isn't built in crowds. It's built in solitude. Legacy isn't built by talkers. It's built by doers. And here's the truth. One day people will admire your strength. They will praise your success. They will respect your discipline. They will call you lucky, but they will never see the lonely moments. They won't see the nights you cried. They won't see the days you doubted. They won't see the sacrifices you made. They'll just see the results. And that's fine, because you didn't do this for recognition. You did this for transformation. You didn't do this to impress people. You did this to become who you were meant to be. So when it gets quiet, when the room feels empty, when motivation disappears, when doubt creeps in, remember this. This is where champions are made. This is where character is built. This is where legacy is formed. Not in the noise, not in the spotlight, but in the silence. So keep working, keep believing, keep grinding, keep growing, even when nobody notices, especially when nobody notices. Because one day your lonely moments will become someone else's motivation. One day your struggle will become someone else's strength. One day your discipline will become someone else's example. And that is legacy. Let me leave you with this. Life doesn't change because you listen to a speech. Life changes because you made a decision, a real decision. Not the kind you make when you're emotional. Not the kind you make when the music is loud. Not the kind you make when motivation is high. The kind you make when nobody is watching. The kind you make when it's quiet. The kind you make when it's hard. Because that's where your future is created. Understand this. Everything you want is on the other side of discomfort. Every breakthrough, every blessing, every level, every version of you that you've been praying for. It's all waiting on the version of you that's willing to suffer now so you don't struggle later. Too many people keep negotiating with their potential. They keep telling themselves tomorrow. They keep saying next week. But perfect timing doesn't exist. There is only now. Right now is when champions are born. Right now is when legacies are decided. Right now is when excuses die or dreams live. Stop underestimating what daily discipline can do. Stop thinking small. Stop playing safe. Stop shrinking your goals to match your comfort. You were not created to survive. You were created to rise. You were not designed for average. You were designed for greatness. But greatness requires sacrifice. Greatness requires consistency. Greatness requires you to become someone you've never been before. And that transformation is uncomfortable. Let me be honest with you. Some days you're not going to feel motivated. Some days you're not going to feel strong. Some days you're not going to feel confident. Some days you'll feel lost. Some days you'll feel tired. Some days you'll question yourself. But you don't quit on those days. You show up anyway. You move anyway. You work anyway. You work anyway. You believe anyway, because discipline carries you when motivation leaves. And the difference between winners and quitters is simple. Winners keep going. Quitters keep explaining. Your story doesn't end with struggle. Your story ends with strength. But you have to walk through the fire first. You have to earn your scars. You have to build your character. You have to outgrow your excuses. Stop asking life to be easy. Ask yourself to be stronger. Stop waiting for opportunity. Become the opportunity. Stop hoping for change. Become the change. You don't need more time. You need more focus. You don't need more resources. You need more commitment. You don't need more motivation. You need more discipline. Because success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistent. Every small decision matters. Every early morning matters. Every late night matters. Every workout matters. Every study session matters. Every moment you choose growth matters. And all those small moments add up. They add up to confidence. They add up to competence. They add up to character. They add up to results, but only if you don't quit. Let me tell you something powerful. Your past does not define you. Your mistakes do not own you. Your circumstances do not control you. Your future is still unwritten, and the pen is in your hand. Write a story that scares your old self. Build a life that makes your younger self proud. Create a legacy that your future self thanks you for, but you can't do that by choosing what's easy. Easy keeps you stuck. Easy keeps you average. Easy keeps you comfortable. And comfort is a dangerous place. Comfort slowly kills dreams. Comfort slowly steals potential. Comfort quietly replaces purpose. So get uncomfortable, get hungry, get obsessed with becoming better, not better than others. Better than yesterday. Outwork your old habits. Outgrow your old mindset. Outperform your old excuses. Because nobody owes you success. Nobody owes you respect. Nobody owes you anything. You earn it through sweat, through sacrifice, through discipline, through showing up when it's hard. Let me speak to the person who feels behind. You're not behind, you're building. Let me speak to the person who feels invisible. You're not invisible, you're in preparation. Let me speak to the person who feels weak. You're not weak, you're becoming strong. Let me speak to the person who feels like quitting. Don't. This season is shaping you. This pressure is preparing you. This struggle is strengthening you. Everything you're going through is making you ready for where you're going. But only if you stay in the fight. Only if you refuse to fold. Only if you choose courage over comfort. There will be people who doubt you. There will be people who don't understand you. There will be people who criticize your journey. Let them. They don't see your vision. They don't carry your calling. They don't feel your hunger. You do. So move, even when it's scary, even when it's slow, even when it hurts, move. Because progress beats perfection. Action beats intention, and persistence beats talent. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be consistent. You don't have to know everything. You just have to start. You don't have to be fearless, you just have to be brave enough to try. One step at a time, one day at a time, one decision at a time. When eventually you look back, you realize you're not who you used to be. You think differently. You move differently. You speak differently. You live differently. And that's growth. That's evolution. That's transformation. That's what happens when you stop choosing what's easy and start doing what it takes. So promise yourself something today. Promise yourself you won't quit. Promise yourself you'll stay disciplined. Promise yourself you'll keep showing up. Promise yourself you'll protect your dream. Promise yourself you'll become uncommon, because the world doesn't need more average people. The world needs more disciplined people, more focused people, more resilient people, more courageous people, people who don't fall under pressure, people who don't quit in silence, people who don't run when it gets hard. Be that person. Be that person. Be the one who rises. Be the one who persists. Be the one who transforms pain into power. Be the one who turns struggle into strength. Be the one who refuses to settle. Your future is waiting. Your purpose is calling. Your greatness is inside you. But it won't come out by accident. It comes out through effort, through sacrifice, through consistency, through faith, through work. So go. Go build, go grind, go grow, go become. And remember this, do what it takes, not what's easy, because your dream deserves your discipline, your future deserves your sacrifice, and your legacy deserves your best.